gray sweatpants from.
You're what?
I'm in gray sweatpants from the waist down.
Oh. Well, I look like I'm in sweatpants from the waist up, but that's because we're on Ontario lockdown here.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what work looks like when we're during COVID, right?
Yeah, working from home. Are you guys on lockdown too out there in BC?
Not to the same degree, but definitely our office, we're not allowed to go work in our office and bring clients there or anything of that nature. So yeah, it's, they're encouraging us all to stay home basically. Yeah. As much as possible. I have a feeling that our restrictions are going to actually increase over the next little bit here, to be honest, just because the numbers are increasing. Yeah.
Well, they're posing a curfew here, so we will see what.
Okay. Yep. Quebec has that already. Marty's family, he's from Montreal, so all of his family, they've been on lockdown for a while, and they've had a curfew for a number of months now.
Yeah, so our office too, we've now got our offices closed, and our front desk staff are going to be working remotely, and so we're going to be doing email, Zoom. I guess they'll still answer phones and all that, right?
Yeah.
And so in our deposits for offers, we're still doing the same thing we've been doing for months, where they can wire transfer them or into the TD branches. I mean, I don't know how much longer the TD branch will happen, but where they can e-transfer. So anyhow,
it's changing the world. It's really going to change the world on how we do things in the future. It really is.
It is for sure.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about the parents' guide to selling a home with kids, and specifically when you have a showing, when you're selling your house and you've got to keep your life under control. It can be a little bit tricky, juggling all this, keeping your house clean, getting out for showings, because we can't be home for showings, especially during COVID, right? We want to minimize as much contact as possible. And then you add kids to the mix. So holy smokes. It's a 3-ring circus, right?
So I find that a lot of my clients, a lot of the moms, they stress out, even when we're not during a pandemic, even just selling in general or shopping for a home in general with having kids in the house, that's stressful enough. And so I'm finding that more and more now, moms are like, well, what do I do? What do I do with my kids if I have a showing at the house? Or what do I do when I want to go look at the house and I've got 3 kids? What do I do with them? Yeah, exactly. So just to back up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So first and foremost, I say, you know what? People will understand. Your home is set up to the point where, they know you've got kids. And I think to a certain degree, there is going to be a certain level of understanding. But I've been kind of having to get a little bit creative with some of the ideas that I'm telling them. And, before I would say, oh, go to the mall or, go to a movie. And we can't really do those things anymore. Go out for dinner, go out for lunch. We can't really do those things anymore. So one thing that one of my clients did the other day, which I thought was kind of genius actually, is they just piled up into their van or into their car, whatever kind of vehicle they have. They made some popcorn. And they said, Fain, we're gonna be still in the garage because we need to stream our internet, but we're just gonna have a movie night in the car off of the iPad. And I was like, that's perfect.
You know what? I like that idea because they could even go just onto the curb, right? Yeah. Get out of the garage, go out on the street, and still probably have Wi-Fi access and do a movie night. That's a great idea. One of the things that I would tell clients, we would discuss it again, these are just recommendations and ideas depending on the client, but sometimes we ask the clients if there's a possibility of them moving out, like in a hot market like now, where we know that the property is likely going to move fairly quickly. So it'll be minimalist in terms of disrupting their life. So, whether it be they go and stay with family or they go up to a trailer, especially this time of year when we've got spring and people have trailers that can go to, right? And basically remove themselves from the house. If especially a property that we think might be a hot property where, you know, the showing numbers may be quite high, and, you know, it could be a disruption if they're in and out, in and out, and in and out, and then you got cranky kids and all the rest of it, right? So,
well, I think, yeah, exactly. And I think too, you know, for a market like right now, what a lot of people are doing is they're having 2 days of showings, right? To have 2 full days of showings, and then they're doing offer presentations. That's just sort of the regime that people are taking here. And so, you know, even doing like a little staycation, or now that the weather is getting nice, they can go camping, even if it's just for a couple days, right? And you know, I find that some people are almost relieved when they say, "What, you mean we can go take a staycation, even if it's just, you know, in the hotel in Vancouver or whatever?" You know, it's still close, but it's still just being able to actually, you know, be able to get away and not feel guilty about it, because there's a reason for it.
exactly.
Right. And then if you're not traveling too far, then obviously you're not, you know, contradicting the COVID restrictions in your area as well. So, you know, there is something to be said for that. Another thing that some people are doing is, I don't know in your area if they have these, but some areas where we are, we're in the Fraser Valley, so there's a lot of farmland very close by. And so some of the zoos, like the petting zoos, they're actually, they've reconstructed themselves so that they're like drive-by zoos. So if you know, want to go for like a drive-through trip to the zoo, you can actually do that now. But also what I've seen people do too is just they know the areas very well, obviously. So they just go and, you know, say that there's, you know, a sheep farm, or, you know, there's a bunch of cows or horses, you know, they'll just go and park, and assuming that the weather's nice, but, you know, they just show the kids the animals, and half the time people understand, and they, you know, most farmers enjoy when the kids are looking at the horses, right? They think it's great.
I agree. I think there's lots of things like that where you can take the kids out into nature, right? Hikes, and, you know, there's and again, we're not getting paid for any promotion on this stuff, but like All Trails app, you know, you can find out kid-friendly trails, hiking trails, that kind of stuff. So if you have a lot of showings and you want to take the kids out for a few hours. The other thing is too, I think you can, as a home seller with kids, you can try to coordinate with your realtor. Like I try to coordinate with my clients. Okay, what time do your kids go to bed? So let's try to minimize any showings after a certain period of time so that they can settle the kids into bed. Or we'll set up a showing schedule like 11 to 7. Right?
Exactly.
So that's every day. The parents know that, you know, mom is taking the kids out between this time, and yes, go ahead and book the showings. Some other things that I've heard parents doing is just basically taking the kids for a walk around the block. I had that the other day. Some clients of mine in a property who basically, when we went in to do the photos and the virtual tour and all that kind of stuff, they took the kids out, right? For short walk. And the playgrounds are still open here, so that is an option as well. I know myself, having being a dog mom, I had 2 large 100-pound dogs that I understood the pains of being a seller and having to get out for showings, and basically took my dogs with me, and we just went down the street. Now, in saying that, another tip I would say that I give to my clients is that we'll minimize the length of the showings, right? So instead of you know, prior to COVID, we would block out a 1-hour time. We would overlap those appointments between realtors. Now we've reduced it down to 30 minutes or 15 minutes, depending on how busy the property is. So that also lessens the time. And I think realtors then become better at getting to properties on time, so that, you know, I mean, sometimes that doesn't work if you're showing 11 homes, you know, that 15-minute window. We always had that 1-hour window to allow us that travel time. If we got a little delayed at one property, right, then we could stay a bit longer. But that would be another suggestion that I would give to my clients or discuss with them about options, right, to kind of minimize the disruption with kids.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. And I think, you know, also I get a lot of moms asking me, well, what do I do with all of these big toys that I've got? And you know, there's you know, as far as hiding the big toys, I mean, there's tons of
You're talking
things
about
that
when
you
they're
can,
listed. You're talking about when they're listed.
if they're listed. Yeah, exactly.
That's a great topic for our next video. So we'll
Exactly.
talk about all that. So we're, you know what? I think if anybody watching this has any great suggestions for the moms
Oh, yeah.
out there, post them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you and find out what exactly you're doing with your kids these days.
Absolutely.
Listed, and yeah, let us know, because we'd love to hear from you. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, give us lots of love and appreciation to you all for watching this video, and stay tuned for next Friday at 1 p.m. for Jen and Fain and Moms in Real Estate.
10 a.m. Pacific time.
Oh yes, I keep forgetting that. I'm so sorry.
And before I go, I would just like to give a big shout out to all the moms out there, because you know what, we've all, I mean, we're both moms, we get it. And you know, we're realtors,
we're moms, we're sellers, or we've been sellers.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Yep. And we get it. And we just want to give a big shout out to all the moms, because we know that we know how fun it is, and you know,
and
how
we put a lot of work into it, like to make
exactly
help your realtor, right?
Sure.
So
100%. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.